and that was around the delivery in ICT. So Service Birmingham do two things. They support transformation and they deliver holistically our IT service, which actually, even though I can say this, even though I was in charge of it at the time, was pretty awful because we could never get any investment in the into the IT service. So, or perhaps it was because I wasn't a very good head of IT, who knows, but it wasn't very good. It is now much better. So on the IT side, you'll see those of you who are very, very good at maths will notice that it wasn't a cost-saving deal. IT used to cost us £47 million a year to deliver. It's now going to cost us £470 million over 10 years to deliver. What it is about moving up the quality of that service for the same price. If we were procuring it now, would we actually have a focus on cost as well? I think the answer is probably, but we didn't. We're not procuring it now. We are where we are. In terms of our transformation, this is what we are working on, and some of which is completed, some of which is still work in progress. We've got 9 work streams in transformation, really trying to address the delivery of those corporate priorities. So looking at them in turn, corporate services transformation, back office, finance, procurement, very strong focus on a standardised way of doing things, standardised transactional way of doing things. It is concerned with driving forward real change in the back office, resulted in a 28% headcount reduction. So that's the sort of scale of reduction we're getting through our back office savings. Next one is working for the future, agile working spaces, very modern environment, lots of small meeting spaces, meeting rooms, hot desking, very strong focus on flexible IT, so you can work from anywhere. Excellence in people management and other back office transformation, looking at how we performance manage 40,000 people. Looking at how we move to a consistent appraisal system across that entire workforce. Information management, moving from a situation where we're data-rich, information poor, to where we begin to really milk that information, that database of information, to actually get value out of that information. And last but not least, in these bottom 5 programmes, Customer First, which is a very different approach. Back office is about standardisation on processes. Our front office approach is about personalising around the individual. So moving towards a situation where a customer feels that what they are being delivered by the council is delivered specifically for them and not a vanilla service. Very standardised approach in terms of our customer fulfilment model that is being applied to all customer services across the council. Those bottom 5 are colour-coded because they're the cross-cutting ones. They're the really tough ones. They hit every department across the council. So politically, with a small p, organisationally problematic. Top ones work in existing environmental organisational silos. So, and I think children's is a really good example of changing the business model. How do you move from a situation in child social care where you intervene when a child is beginning to, say, misbehave, indulge in antisocial behaviour? Incredibly expensive interventions at that stage. Can you actually intervene in a preventative way 10 years earlier in that child's life to stop that problem ever arising? How do you do that intervention? It's not about dealing with a child at that point, it's about dealing with a parent around parenting skills, for example. It's a very different model, very different business model, and takes a long time to implement, of course. But that's the result we're following that. Adults is, again, looking towards a personalised model of adult social care, individualised budgets. So people get the care that is meaningful to them and not the care that is the standard on offer. Housing, still got a very large housing stock, around about 70,000 social housing units, still directly managed by the council. And they were pretty awful when we started this process. It's now a pretty good housing service, and it has actually met the government's decent home standard. And last but by no means least, our environment programme, looking at how we drive down the council's carbon footprint and make the city a better place to live. Those are the programmes. To give you some idea of the scale of the investment, we're investing something like £670 million in that transformation programme. It is a very strongly focused around business cases. This is how we're working with Capita through Service Birmingham. The balance, it is a very much a partnership model. The council bringing knowledge about business areas, professional knowledge, complementing that with good programme, project and IT and design skills from the Service Birmingham side. You may wonder what these pieces of paper are that Colin keeps passing me. I'm not quite sure myself whether it's time remaining or score. If it's score, I'm doing really badly, so sorry about that. Won't dwell on that slide, but just to think about some of the challenges we're facing now around the economic downturn. Looking at the supply chain for value chain for the public sector, we get some money from taxation usually. We create some inputs from that, we create processes around that, they create outputs, and hopefully at the end of the day you then get some outcomes. Traditionally, when we're looking at how we save money from that, we focus at the left-hand side of this chain. We look at how we save money on the inputs. Actually, we probably need to change that model round. We need to think about how we focus more on the outcomes end of that. How you define what your outcomes are will actually then begin to drive the way this process works the other way. Looking at it driving down from outcomes, define your outputs to deliver those outcomes, your processes to deliver those outputs, etc. So you actually drive down from the other end. And one of the great things that we've done with working with Service Birmingham, with Capita, is actually we've created a model that does that. You may have had the opportunity to visit the stand downstairs. If not, there is plenty of opportunity to get more information on this. CHAMPS 2, Change Management in the Public Sector, is our approach to an outcomes delivery model of business change. So it focuses on the outcomes in a measurable way. You cannot proceed within a CHAMPS 2 process unless you've measured the outcome you're trying to achieve. It's about service redesign, not service improvement, but it does keep that golden thread, sorry for the public sector buzzword, about from business case right through to benefits realisation. It aligns with best practice, so we don't drop Prince 2, for example, we use it, but it is very politically astute, very strong emphasis on governance. So, quick look at it. This is its overview. It's an 8-phase programme of approach, starting from initiation right through, dropping back into continuous improvement. You can drill down through that methodology. So every one of those chevrons has stages within it. Those stages have activities. Very feature-rich. We've put a lot of investment into this. We had to. You cannot run a cross-organisational change programme if you are talking a different language. Each one of those 9 programmes have dependencies between them that we had to have a way of working together. But we took it beyond that, so we can actually learn how to do this in a consistent, coherent way, which if you do it differently every time, how do you ever learn from that process? It is, obviously think it's a valuable product, but it's valuable in the sense that we think others can adopt it for free. So we've put this into the public domain. It's available at www.champs2.info. The whole methodology is there, downloadable for free. And as we go through the course of this year, we'll be actually getting to a stage where you can be accredited within this product, just like you can be accredited in Prince 2. So we're working with APMG along those lines. So what has this helped us with? Proven consistent delivery approach, single language, full integration across the whole transformation programmes, holistic approach, and I suppose one thing that really sells it for me is it's about risk prevention. Bear in mind that something like consistently, round about 60% of transformation programmes fail. That's not a public sector statistics, that's a general statistic. If we're going to drive transformation in the public sector, we've got to get that percentage up to a reasonable level, and this is what CHAMPS 2 helps you with. That's where we are in the process. It's worked for us, I think, is a summary of that slide. And my last slide is, I think, one of our real lessons around get the vehicles right, systemic approach to how you do this. It isn't about IT, it's about everything else. Fully resource to drive down the risk. and deal sensitively with senior managers. That's a bit of code word. Senior managers really fundamentally believe they know how to do organisational change. That's how they got to be senior managers. I think not necessarily is that borne out by practice, but I will probably said too much there already. And I'll leave it there. And I'm really sorry, folks, I don't have any time to hang around. I've got to get back to Birmingham for a late evening meeting. So thank you very much.